So this is not isolated. This is a colossal event of avoidance, not just in the state of Florida, but you will find avoidance in the Carolinas. Senior leadership will lie to you and tell you that they do not know. But if you ask the DSA crew leads and specialists what they are experiencing in the field, they will tell you. Demand for FEMA to give you those incident reports.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. How are you today? We have Matt Walsh talking about the FEMA scandal that I had brought to you yesterday, and how it is much worse right now, and how we actually do have somebody who is there, you saw it at the beginning of this, who actually can say, yes, this is how FEMA worked, and this is how its leadership wanted people to act in situations where people desperately needed help. Let's listen.
This just popped up as we started recording. I haven't even listened to the clip yet, but this is Marnie Washington, the FEMA official who was fired for telling her team of aid workers to avoid homes with Trump signs. The big story the Daily Wire broke, we talked about yesterday in the opening.
This goes for me too, okay? Please like, share, subscribe, okay? As I said, helps with the algorithm, and I can give you this information and all the other stuff that I do. Thanks a lot.
Monologue. She just did an interview where she claimed that actually this is not an isolated incident, as FEMA has alleged. She says that this was apparently standard operating procedure, and that FEMA did the same thing in North Carolina. She did this, told her team to avoid Trump supporting homes in Florida. She's saying that no, this actually happened in North Carolina. Let's listen to the clip.
Stating that I was fired. They all alleged that these actions were made on my own recognizances and that it was for my own political advances. However, if you look at the record, there is what we call a community trend. And unfortunately, it just so happened that the political hostility that was encountered by my team, and I was on 2 different teams during this deployment, they just so happened to have the Trump campaign signage. FEMA always preaches avoidance first and then de-escalation. So this is not isolated. This is a colossal event of avoidance, not just in the state of Florida, but you will find avoidance in the Carolinas. Senior leadership will lie to you and tell you that they do not know. But if you ask the DSA crew leads and specialists what they are experiencing in the field, they will tell you. Demand for FEMA to give you those incident reports.
Wow. Wow. Not a surprise. Not a surprise. I mean, I said yesterday when we talked about this that I obviously don't believe that this was an isolated event. I don't believe that this woman took it upon herself to do this on her own recognizance, as she would put it. I don't think that. Now, that doesn't mean that she should be fired, and she should be prosecuted, but not just her. You know, Trump needs to get in there and clean out the entire agency and fire everybody in leadership and prosecute them. That's what needs to happen. But I totally believe what she's saying here because it's the only thing that makes sense. It's the only thing that makes sense. And she's saying she has evidence of it. I'm sure she does. This would be an easy thing to prove. And I think it will be proven, but it never made any sense. I mean, the fact that this was put, like I said yesterday, it's put so casually in writing in a list of just standard, most of it's standard tips like drink a lot of water, you know, wear a jacket if it's cold or whatever. And then just thrown in there in the middle of it, not even like at the top of the list or the bottom, but just in the middle. Oh, and avoid Trump homes with Trump signs. It very much reads like, it reads as though it was not the first time that it had ever been written down or that instruction had ever been given. Like it reads like this is just a standard thing that they say all the time. And that's what she's saying, and that tracks, I would say. It tracks that this is what they were doing. And so this is a massive, massive scandal. I mean, this is a massive scandal, obviously. And FEMA has put itself in a position where now, you know, they can't really offer any other excuse. They kind of missed their opportunity to come up with some other excuse. Not that there could be an excuse, Clearly, like there could not possibly be a valid excuse for denying disaster aid to homes with Trump signs. Clearly, that's a constitutional violation, and there could not possibly be any. And it's like the most basic constitutional violation. This is everyone is supposed to be equal under the law, and this is a denial of that basic human right. So there couldn't be a good excuse, but whatever they missed their only chance to come up with some kind of excuse because they've just denied that it's happening. They said this is the only time. And then when it comes out that, no, this has happened all over the place. It happened in North Carolina. It's been happening Trump's entire term. What are they going to say now? They can't circle back around and say, oh, yeah, well, but here's the reason. You already lied.
This is institutional warfare against a political opponent by going after his supporters. And in times of need like this is insanity. It's absolutely insane. And if you're a supporter of this, I don't understand it. Leave that in the comments. If you support this kind of actions, please, you tell me why. And you tell me why you're just absolutely not demonic for that. Please. And this is the whole thing. And this is why the left is so shrill right now, and why they were so shrill in 2016. They're terrified that the right, now that the right is in power, is going to treat them the exact same way that they wanted to treat the right. And that's what's going on in their little minds right now. Okay? They know inside of their souls that they are going to get treated the same way that they would treat somebody that they had power over. And that's why they should never, ever, ever have power.
And I expected the excuse that she kind of offers there is what I expected the excuse to be. And it's bullcrap, it's bogus. But she says that we avoid them, and I think she gets into this more in the interview beyond just that clip. But she says that she claims that sometimes the homes that have Trump flags or Trump signs would be hostile to FEMA workers, and so they just avoid them altogether. That's the claim.
Remember, they said avoidance and de-escalation. Okay, the left always used generalized language, and therefore that they have a backup to the actions that they take. Okay, it said, they had Trump sign up there. They're probably going to be nasty and mean, and we were just going to avoid them. It's sick.
Claim, and I figured that would be the excuse. It'd be something like that. Like I said, FEMA's already. If that was going to be their excuse, too late, because you claimed it wasn't happening. In fact, you acknowledged already that it's a major violation, it's a horrible thing. You acknowledged that in your statement and said that this is the only time it's ever happened. So this is the excuse that she's giving, and as I said, it's completely bogus, obviously. You can't just assume, that based on someone's political affiliations, that they're going to reject your aid. And even if they do reject it, okay, well, give them the option to reject it. Was there an epidemic of Trump supporters physically assaulting FEMA workers? No, there wasn't. Because if that was happening, we would have heard about it, okay? We would have heard about it. We'd see the videos. It'd be all over the place. We didn't hear about one case of that happening. Not one. Because, of course, that didn't happen. Now, Trump supporters may be skeptical of FEMA workers. I am too. Doesn't mean you're going to assault them or accost them. And the other thing also is that if that's what you're worried about, if you're worried that Trump supporters are very skeptical of FEMA and have a certain hostility to FEMA, okay, well, this isn't going to help that situation. So you think there's a certain segment of the population that's hostile to FEMA workers, and your way of solving that is to deny them disaster relief? Well, it turns out they had every reason. Okay, if there was hostility to FEMA officials and FEMA workers, turns out there was every reason for them to be hostile to them. I think it's fascinating that she talks about community trends. That's an interesting one, isn't it? She says, sometimes there are community trends that mean that a certain community is unsafe. So we can We can start talking about community trends now, can we? We can start denying people critical aid, or we can stop, sending people into communities to help them if there's a trend of that community being maybe, having hostility, being dangerous. I don't know. I don't know if that's logic that Marnie Washington wants to pursue very far. I don't know about that one.
Yeah, I would love to see FEMA try to pull that off in downtown Chicago. Seriously. So tell me what you think, guys. This is pretty bad. And this should be blown all over the news. But unfortunately, because it is about the deprecations of the left, we are not going to hear much about it. So that's why I bring this stuff to you. Thank you all very much. Like I said, let me hear in the comments, what do you think about this and some of the other things that we have found out that the Biden-Harris administration has been up to. So again, like, share, subscribe. Thank you again. Later.